Okay, now this is ironic. You ever heard of the Searle motor? This is more or less what a Searle motor looks like. It's actually ironically what Stonehenge looks like. And it's ironically what, let me see, I'm wanting to say it's like this. Now this looks like, I think this is Persepolis. But it's ironic how that looks the same. Now we have this one too. See, here we go again. A Searle motor. Now look, this is a diagram of the Colosseum, but it looks more like an electric meter to me. And ironically, it coincides with electrical properties like having walls and doors in the wrong places that just don't make sense. They literally will go nowhere or something like that. I mean, I think there was some kind of power in this place also. Now, ironically, all of these sites around this world, on this equator, on the 33rd and parallel, are exactly 6,666 kilometers away from each other, which is ironic with the 666. And here's a thermoelectric generator. You have your open arc at the top, or that's where your load is. You have your cool side, you have your hot side, you have your anode and cathode. And then you have your negative and positive material. Now here's the atomic structure of gold, or the Merkaba, which coincides with two pyramids, one upright, one upside down. Now look at this. What does that look like? Looks like Teotihuacan to me. Pyramids in Teotihuacan. And this is a thermoelectric generator. How ironic. Okay, now they label these as star shafts here, okay? And they're depicting a nuclear energy in here. Obviously, that's what's going on through that nuclear arc. They depicted it red here too, which is ironically very, very close to what I'm talking about. Alright? Here's thermoelectric generator. This is the heat. This is the cold. You got your P-type, N-type, P-type, N-type. And there's your load, see? Okay. If you turn it upside down, you'll have the arc up here. Now the two cherubs on the top are a cathode and anode. And in between them is where a star is formed. Now this is a thermoelectric generator. How ironic that Giza coincides with a motherboard, and we use a motherboard's CPU heatsink and fan to make a thermoelectric generator. I mean, how much evidence or links and connections does a person have to literally know what's going on? Okay, this is a particle emitter. Okay, this is gold. Alpha particles will go straight through gold, which coincides with that, because if the arc is made of gold, it's perfect for the positive charge to be carried to the anode, where the alpha particles will be emitted. Now, ironically, Franklin's motor also resembles the Searle motor and Stonehenge, etc. Now look at this. This is ironic. The capacitor is positioned inside the copper pipe and held in place by strength of a 2.5 millimeter thick copper wire coil around the vertical pipes in the frame. Okay, now, inside a pyramid. I guess this is an orgone generator or whatever, but regardless, it's just too ironic. A hydrogen fuel cell, okay? They ionize the hydrogen, and the energy basically travels through it like a medium, and the cathode and anode have the load or arc right here. And ionized hydrogen is being used just like in that. Alright, now this uses graphite as the cathode, which is good because obviously carbon is graphite. And carbon we use in things like bulbs because they get real hot. And carbon is already ash. There it is. Look, now he's got these Leyden jars. I believe we're getting wireless energy. But look, arc. I think that's what that arc means. Obviously it means power or energy. And this is the cell or the depiction. You have the hot and the ground basically right here coming out the top of it. and these are the control rods. And you have the star right there. Again, here's a negative ionic generator. It's completely set up. This is just through electrical components, but it's completely set up the exact same way. And you have your danger high voltage right here where your arc would be, or your load. I'm just throwing this out here because I think it's kind of ironic. USAF, top secret, nuclear powered, flying triangle. Okay. And they just happen to use a triangle like the pyramids. I mean, that's just a little ironic. And here we go again with looking like Stonehenge. This will literally have perpetual motion and will go on forever. And there it is again. Another thermoelectric generator. You have your hot side at the top, your cold side at the bottom. I mean, straight Ark of the Covenant type stuff. Here we go again with P-type and N-type material. Okay? You have to have that P-type and N-type. And lithium, carbon, and fluorine are perfect. See, whatever was here in the Queen's chamber directed the energy straight to the capstone. Now this right here, another thermoelectric generator. If that doesn't resemble the Ark of the Covenant, I don't know what does. Another thermoelectric generator. P-type and N-type material. And this would be your conductor. That would be your carbon. Or the diamond. Carbon is also diamond. And diamond can suck heat up very quickly and effectively and dissipate it. So I think that diamond was actually used too, which is carbon. Of course, right here you'd have your hot junction point for the casing for here. And there's the hot junction point here. So if you flip this upside down, if this is a thermoelectric generator, you're dissipating the heat into the case. That would be your hot junction point. And this would go to the subterranean chamber and to the Grand Gallery. I'm just going to throw this out there. That looks like a video card to me. Like a big giant video card. Okay, here's the red star. It's usually always depicted over their heads. And this right here obviously looks like some kind of plasma ball or something electrical. There's no doubt about that. And here's the two coils I was talking about, which are probably coils. I mean, they're snakes. I mean, that would only be a coil. You have your Ankh or arc right here, and it's the boom. There's the energy right there. I mean, that one right there is pretty self-explanatory. And these staffs that they had received this wireless energy from the pyramids, and it made them into quote-unquote gods. See? Here's the red star again. I mean, that red star is literally in everything. And that's what I believe. It's a small type T brown dwarf that emits H-alpha light waves. I mean, it's converted into lithium, and that's why it's red. Of course, everybody has seen this depiction. I mean, that's an obvious. I mean, look at that. It's a transformer. I mean, literally, that looks exactly like a transformer. Modern day transformer. And here we go with the arc under the Sphinx. Okay? I think that the Sphinx is a giant heat sink, and this is the giant arc under it that starts the process, and the small arc goes in the King's Chamber. Now, ironically, this coincides with this. This is called the Rudi. It represents both sphinxes. Ironically, here's the small red star again, which represents the Ankh, or the arc, or the power that you're getting from it. Okay? Now, ironically, if you look up what is on the exact opposite side of this planet, on the other side of the planet Earth, under the Pacific Ocean, there are obelisks coming out of the water. I find that that's a very big clue, in my opinion. It's also very ironic how that looks so much like Sputnik. I mean, it literally looks like Sputnik, in my opinion. I mean, hell, in my opinion, my ass, that looks just like Sputnik. Here we go again. Air, antenna, hot. The energy you're getting from the air. Ankh, power. Here he goes again, the Ankh, the power. Okay? Now I believe this static energy, if these people receiving this static energy going through their body, and they could maintain it in these staffs and stuff, then it would literally make their hair stand up. Just throwing that out there too. And here we go here. on the third and third in parallel. Easter Island, Bermuda Triangle, Stonehenge. Those three are also 6,666 kilometers from each other. And on the other side they are too. Okay? Cryoscope. It's made from a computer's heatsink. You have your Peltier element, heatsink, cooling fan, RGB, lead, aluminum cube. It's just too ironic. It's just too ironic for it to not have a connection. Oh, just throwing this out there too. How this ironically coincides with Pumapunku at the top. See? The very top here. The H's. The H's. If this was a complete, I'd say it was probably a representation, just like Stonehenge is, of the power they achieved back in the past. So I think it's just too ironic how this little red star that coincides with all of this and Nikola Tesla and the pyramids coincide with electrical items. Like these look like video cards or something, but they're not. They're temples. None of them are built like a regular house or a temple or something would be. They are literally designed like our electrical items, integrated circuits. So I think all this stuff that connects to each other is not just coincidence. I think literally that the ancients knew what cold fusion was, and this is like a nuclear spark gap, which Tesla has spark gaps in the Tesla coils, and everything just coincides too well.